NZOG, New Zealand Oil Gas Ltd, has been a significant player in the New Zealand petroleum industry for more than 30 years. It has a proud record of discovery, development and production in Taranaki, New Zealand's only productive hydrocarbon basin. NZOG is a joint venture partner in two producing fields, Tui and Kupe, which both lie in offshore Taranaki. These two fields provide the ongoing cash flows which allow NZOG to invest in new growth opportunities. The Tui area oil fields, New Zealand's first standalone offshore oil field development, started producing on July 30, 2007. Ahead of production, recoverable reserves were estimated to be around 27 million barrels of oil. Those initial expectations have been greatly exceeded, and by the end of 2011, over 31 million barrels of oil had been produced. Tui is forecast to continue production until at least 2019, with total production over the life of the project expected to exceed 40 million barrels. Several $1 billion will be paid in royalties and other taxes over Tui's lifespan, not to mention the huge contribution to the local and regional economies from the supply of services, employment and community sponsorships from the project. It all began in early 2003, when New Zealand Oil and Gas and its partners drilled a successful exploration well into the Tui prospect, 50 kilometres off the Taranaki coast. This success was quickly followed by the discovery of the nearby Pateki and Omukura oil accumulations. Collectively known as the Tui area oil fields, the discoveries were declared commercially viable in 2005 and the partners approved the development of the project. As the operator, AWE took a 42.5% interest in the field. The other partners were Mitsui with a 35% stake, Pan Pacific Petroleum with 10%, and New Zealand Oil and Gas with 12.5%. In just 20 months from the decision to proceed, a vast range of objectives were set and achieved. 4 production wells were drilled in water up to 120 metres deep. Meanwhile, up in Singapore, a floating production storage and offloading vessel, known by its initials as an FPSO, was being commissioned. Originally an oil tanker, it was converted for operation in New Zealand and renamed the Umuroa, which translates to long oven in Maori. Also during this period, a wide range of specialised oil production equipment began to arrive at the port of Taranaki from all around the world. Local engineering firms such as Fitzroy Engineering were contracted to produce a variety of heavy equipment items, including the massive mid-water arches. Weighing more than 100 tonnes, the mid-water arches are suspended in the ocean below the FPSO to support the oil flow lines running from the wellheads on the seafloor up to the FPSO. By July 2007, the Umuroa was in position and ready for oil production. Home to up to 50 engineers and tradespeople working 12-hour shifts for up to 3 weeks at a time, a key focus of the Umuroa's operation is safety. Being located 50 kilometres offshore means personnel and some goods must be regularly transported out by helicopter. Staff and contractors making regular trips out to the FPSO must complete helicopter underwater emergency training. Each passenger undergoes a safety briefing before each flight and must wear specially designed survival flight suits. Once on board, there is an extensive safety and induction briefing for each new arrival, and the focus on safety doesn't stop there.
Safety is second to none. As a result, we have toolbox meetings, permit meetings. We then explain that to the crew. The crew every morning has got an opportunity to comment on the day's activities. The permit to work system is an official document that dictates how we manage risks, and it's signed off by 4 different supervisors, including the OIM. We have a marked up, very big, large drawing of the whole facility. A hot work permit will be designated by a red magnet, a cold work permit a blue magnet that's strategically placed on the location of the facility. So at any one time we can see the work that's actually happening on the facility by looking at that board.
When there is sufficient oil on board, a shuttle tanker is linked by a floating pipeline and the oil offloaded. The oil is sold into the world market and typically goes to refineries in Australia, although sales have also been made into Asia, Hawaii and the Marsden Point refinery in New Zealand. Constant on-board testing ensures that the Tui oil meets world quality standards.
The oil comes up through the wells, which comes up as gas, water and oil all mixed into one. Basically here we separate it. We separate the gas, the water and the oil, and this is the end product, the 100% light crude oil.
As one of the largest oil field discoveries in New Zealand, the Tui field is providing huge economic benefits to the local Taranaki economy. Directly employing more than 100 personnel, it indirectly employs many more through the wide range of contractors involved in the field's operation and supplying services. Tui is recognised as a world-class operation that has proved to be a great investment for New Zealand oil and gas. Meanwhile, the Kupe gas and oil field, 30 kilometres off the South Taranaki coast, was discovered by NZOG in 1986. The first well, Kupe South 1, flowed about 2,000 barrels of light oil and about 5.4 million cubic feet of gas a day. Drilling continued between 1987 and 1990, with another 4 wells confirming significant hydrocarbon reserves. However, low international oil and gas prices at the time and the availability of cheap gas from Taranaki's Maui field meant it was not economic to develop Kupe. With NZOG, the one constant, the Kupe permit, passed through many hands until the current joint venture came together in 2004. As the operator, Origin Energy has a 50% stake. The other partners are Genesis Energy with 31%, Mitsui with 4% and New Zealand Oil and Gas with 15%. The Kupe project got underway when 3 production wells up to 3.8 kilometres in length were drilled by the NZOG 107 jackup rig in early 2008. An unmanned offshore platform was then positioned above the production wells by the NZOG 107. Meanwhile, one of the world's most advanced pipelaying vessels, the Apache, laid a 30-kilometre sub-sea pipeline to bring raw gas and liquids from the platform to the shore. The Apache also laid a sub-sea umbilical carrying chemicals, power and fibre optic communications between the platform and the shore. Tunnels were drilled under the coastal cliffs, taking the pipeline and umbilical safely ashore to an onshore production station. Here the raw gas stream is processed into sales gas, LPG and light oil. To take the gas to market, a 12-kilometre pipeline was laid from the production station to Kapuni, where it is injected into the North Island gas network, while the oil condensate is transported to the oil handling, storage and export facilities near Port Taranaki. Costing $1.3 billion and involving almost 6.2 million man-hours, developing the Kupe field was a massive undertaking. The project faced many challenges, but maintained an excellent safety record and delivered a world-class facility. The production station is breathtaking in its dimensions and complexities, covering 8 hectares of former farmland. The production station includes more than 56 kilometres of piping and 120 kilometres of electrical cable. On site, there are 8 LPG storage bullets, each with a 300-tonne capacity, as well as 2 750,000-litre oil storage tanks and a 5-truck loading bay for LPG and light oil. And finally, a wetland area was created to naturally clean stormwater before it is discharged from the site. The production station was commissioned in December 2009, producing the first products for sale. In March 2010, Kupe was officially opened by New Zealand Prime Minister John Key, and the plant went into permanent production. The light oil produced from Kupe has provided a major new export product through Port Taranaki. Kupe has also delivered many other economic and social benefits. The project was a major employer. Thousands of people worked on the project's construction, and about 50 permanent positions were created. Much of the capital work was undertaken by New Zealand companies, and there are continuing contracts with transport and maintenance providers. Kupe production is based around a sales gas target of 20 petajoules per year. The associated light oil and LPG production is higher in the early years and initially provides the majority of the revenue. The total initial recoverable reserves at Kupe are estimated to be 245 petajoules of sales gas, 15.7 million barrels of light oil, and 1.1 million tonnes of LPG. The field is expected to produce until at least 2025. There are also other exploration opportunities within the Kupe permit, which offer promise for adding further reserves. Like Tui, Kupe will pay billions of dollars in royalties and other taxes over its lifespan, not to mention the major contribution to the regional economy. After 18 years in the planning and 3 years for construction, Kupe has fulfilled its promise to become an integral part of New Zealand's energy picture. NZOG has been rewarded for its perseverance and can look forward to strong cash flows for many years to come. Cash flows which underpin the company's value and allow it to target new investment opportunities.